As I prepare to put my newsletter out for February, I wanted to share something that is really resonating with me in the moment. We talk a lot about emotionally intelligent leadership. What does that look like for an individual all the way to the collective? And one of the things that always comes to mind when I think about emotionally intelligent leadership is they're never disconnected to reality, whether it's reality of individuals, reality of what's going on in the team or the organization, or the reality of what's going on in our world. Emotionally intelligent leaders always create space to address the reality of what's going on. It helps people connect, it helps people process, it helps people develop safety and trust, and also move forward in a way that supports people and empowers people and encourages people and just is there for people. And I think recently, with all of the news and the things going on in Minnesota and what's happened there and just the world right now, I was thinking a lot about how many leaders have created spaces for people to know that they can process, that they can share, right? It has nothing to do with political beliefs or anything. It's more from an emotional intelligence standpoint, understanding that people's emotional experience impacts how they show up, impacts how they come together or how they isolate, impacts the work that they do, how they collaborate, how they connect. Daniel Goleman's book, one of the examples he gives right at the beginning is right after 9/11 happened, there was a CEO who completely had no clue what to do. I believe this was in Southern Connecticut, so right outside of New York City, and really just paused operations to say, hey, I don't know what to do. I don't have the right words to say. All I kind of feel is that we need to be there for each other in whatever capacity that looks like. Let's figure out what we need to do for one another, and probably the outside community. That leader didn't need to have the right words, didn't need to have answers, right? It was so catastrophic, no one had answers. What they knew was they had to address what was happening and just create the space. And that's the same thing right now. That's the same thing when the pandemic hit. It's really easy to create space when things are going well, but how well can a leader show up when times are tough or things aren't going well or people's hearts are heavy or there's things that are outside of the environment of work that is playing a huge factor in people's well-being and just their lives. And so I'd love to invite you all to be thinking about this. Not to say you have to go and address and talk about everything or get into the weeds of everything, but just as a reminder and an opportunity that emotionally intelligent leaders understand how people's emotional experience impact them individually as well as collectively. And trust is built when leaders can meet their people in the reality of what's happening. The thing is, and you're going to hear this and you're going to be thinking about it, everyone feels it. Everyone knows it's there. It's kind of like that elephant in the room. And people are like, oh, are they going to just pretend like nothing's going on? Or are they going to address it? Or, right? People are playing this game or thinking about it. Leaders understand that they have to create the space. And it takes vulnerability. It takes a little bit of discomfort and not quite sure and knowing that you may not know what will come of it. But when you're able to address the reality of what's going on and truly meet people and just create the space, you're able to connect. That example of Connecticut and that leader post 9/11, and I mean, I'm talking directly after 9/11, like days after. I'd have to go back and look at the book, but their company and organization in terms of retention and growth and like work that they were able to do and revenue just took off over the years post 9/11, and a lot of that was connected and tied back to what that space fostered in terms of community and connection and support. And so just remember that you have human beings showing up. You don't have, specific people in roles showing up. They're humans having human experiences, all dealing with the reality of the world, whether that's outside of your control and in society and in our world, or related to your organization and just where you all are. But if you can meet your people in the reality of what's happening and hold space for that, I guarantee you only positive things can come from this.